What's up, guys? This is another video about sport on my channel. So, what I would say is, I am not taking away the word that I said about Manchester City going to win the Premier League, but I do have to give some credit to Arsenal. That um everybody watched the game, City versus Tottenham, and that game was so disappointing. Like, people, I myself personally, I could not believe Manchester City has degraded themselves to a point where they are not able to keep on a 2-0 game to full time, because I knew Manchester City was supposed to win this Tottenham Hotspur game. So when the game was like 2-0, I wasn't surprised. So I already knew, like, the game probably going to feel like 3-1, because I knew that no matter what City does, right, Tottenham is going to score. But I was very surprised that Solanke was able to score all those goals, and the game at the end of the day was a draw game. So the game was able to finish 2-2. I will say this, first of all, first and foremost, Manchester City to me still is they are still going to win the Premier League, right? Arsenal is not a team. First of all, Arsenal is not, as I said in my earlier video, Arsenal is not a football team. Arsenal is just like a bunch of investors that came together and put their money together just to make profit and all that. So Arsenal to me is not a team, and I'm not surprised that I will not be surprised if City at the end of the league is still the champion, like, is still the winner of the Premier League this season, because we still have like 15 more games to go, and there is still a lot of time. And I feel like Arsenal is going to be able to, because Arsenal chart is charting high right now. They have a standard which they are able to win games in the UCL Champions League, and they are able to just come in the Premier League and play like smaller opponent. Then they just, like, they know how to maneuver through those games. They know how to maintain that standard. They know how to keep their players fit. But I just feel like after this playoff stage of the Champions League goes by, then everybody is about to play the knockout stage, plus the first 9 teams that qualify, the playoff, those who are qualified in the playoffs, and everybody is able to fight for their life. Like, if you don't win this game, both leg, if you don't win, you are going out and all that. I feel like that will be a time where Arsenal will face a lot of pressure. And I feel like Manchester City is already a team that knows how to win the Premier League. And Pep Guardiola, I'll not. First of all, I'm not going to take word or some credit away from what I said about Pep. I still feel the same. I still feel like Pep is a genius. Is a good manager. He knows how to control the squad, how to control the team. I just feel like, as much as Pep is a good manager, as much as Pep is able to control his squad, as much as Pep is able to do whatsoever he has been doing for the past years, winning the title, winning the triple, winning and the Champions League and all over. But I just feel like Pep sometimes is full of himself. The reason why I'm saying he's full of himself is because watching Manchester City today is not like watching Manchester City 2 years ago, when they had Kevin De Bruyne and Kyle Walker. All those players were very good. So you feel like it's like I'll step out of the lane and come back a little bit. Liverpool squad right now, Liverpool is facing a very, very big issue, because Liverpool don't have players. They have players which the players can go, like, from the midfield upward. They have good players, but they defends the goals, because if it's like, if you have a bad goalkeeper and you have a good striker can score like 4 5 goals, right? But the bad goalkeeper is still going to concede goals. So what if you go once, you miss the chance to score, then the opponent come one and they score, so you are always going to be on a deficit. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't want to get anybody confused and I don't want to get anything twisted. What I'm trying to say here is, Manchester City still, they are still being affected by the absence of Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield and somebody like Kyle Walker in the defense that is able to fight for some balls. Manchester City has a lot of good talent. Don't get me wrong, but they have a lot of young talent. A lot of inexperienced talent. It's like, I'll take an example, right? My team, which like I grew up as a fan, up to now I'm still supporting, I'm still a fan. Barcelona, right? Barcelona is a very very good team, right? I remember I had an argument with my friend last year. I told him Barca is not going to win the Champions League. He's also a huge fan of Barcelona, but he just like, he was just defending everything that Barcelona is going to win. Barcelona is going to do. Bro, if you know what Champions League is, if you know what experience into players, what they call experience into players, when you see them play football at the biggest stage, like at the bigger not at the biggest stage, because everybody obviously plays at the bigger stage, like the UEFA Champions League, not the small stage, like at the certain level of UCL. When it comes to knockout stages, this is why Madrid is always chatting high. Whenever, whenever Champions League is going on, Madrid is always chatting high, because Madrid has a lot of experienced players. We don't know, they don't want to do too much. They know you need the experience to just win the Champions League. There was a season where Benzema, when he won the Champions League with Madrid, which if I remember quite alright, they knocked Manchester City out. It was like 90 plus 9. 90 minutes plus 9 minutes, they scored 2 goals and City was out. Because City squad by that time, they were inexperienced. But Madrid squad they were very, very experienced. So coming back to Barcelona, right? Barcelona, my team is, they have the younger talent, they have everything they need, but they have one key thing which they can play throughout the UCL, but when it reaches to that knockout stage where experienced team are able to stand out and play up based on experience and showcase they know the talent, the experience into the games, not rush and all those stats and all that. I feel like Barcelona is always going to come short, because they have a lot of young players which they have less experience. But Barca could win the Champions League. Let's get back to City. Manchester City has a lot of good players, a lot of young talent, but they have a lot of inexperienced talent. So I feel like Pep just had to keep Kevin De Bruyne at like in the midfield for a while, so you'll be able to teach, the younger generation. Then you leave, then you just show them certain things, how to do, how to maneuver through certain, like how, just pass them through something, like show them what to do, what it takes, like an experienced midfielder to play with the younger ones and show them something. So the absence of Kevin De Bruyne and Kyle Walker is still very very affectionate to Manchester City squad, which they don't want to. Manchester City fans, they don't want to accept it, but it's a fact. Then coming to the Premier League, I feel like Manchester City is still the top. To me, I feel like Arsenal is just 7 points away from Man City, right? If Arsenal loses a game through the way before they play City, I think they have like a couple more games before they will be able to play Manchester City. If Arsenal loses a game along the way, then it will be like 4 points different. Then they'll play Man City, and I know obviously Man City will beat them, because when it comes to Man City will obviously beat, no matter what squad Arsenal will come with, Manchester City is always going to beat. To me, this is my opinion, right? You can have your own opinion. I feel like Manchester City is always going to beat Arsenal when it comes to, like, if you win me, my chances of taking the Premier League is high, or if I lose the game, my chance of taking the Premier League just automatically goes low. And I feel like when it reaches to that stage, Manchester City is going to win Arsenal, which is going to be a very tough game. But to me now, feel like Manchester City is to me is a top priority, to win like those type of games. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal is in the final of, I think, is the EFA Cup, and maybe probably the Carabao Cup, and they are doing well in the UCL Champions League. They are also doing well actually in Premier League. But if Arsenal comes out trophyless in these two final, I will not be surprised, because who are they playing against? I think they are playing City in the both final. So Arsenal is not just going. I don't hate Arsenal. It's just Arsenal has not given us something in the past years that people will be, Arsenal, they can do this. Remember when they did this? Now, Arsenal haven't given that to a lot of people that are not fans and people that are fans of Arsenal. And this is why I just feel like, because there was a time Arsenal was like chatting to take the league high, the potentials, everything was there, but they keep up doing some stupid games, and at the end they lost a game, and I think City still won the league. Like at the point where Arsenal can lose, Arsenal is a team where Arsenal is so bad at the point where they can win the league just a slide of goal aggregate, like go the total number of goals that they have scored, red card, the foul, and all that. Because I remember there was a season where as Man City was able to win the Premier League because they had like a high number of goals scored, then the other team had a less number of goals scored, and they won the league and all that. So Arsenal to me is just not a team that is just used of winning trophies, and I feel like they are still going to fall short in this Premier League. Manchester City is still going to win the league. Right now, this is my opinion. I'm just being opinionated, so somebody else can have a different opinion. This is just my opinion. It's like that's where I stand right now. But this was a disgusting game. This was a disappointing game. This was an ungrateful. I will not say ungrateful. I would say this was a surprise to a lot of fans that Man City was able to draw a game against Tottenham, which if you draw a game against Tottenham, it should be a reasonable draw. It shouldn't be the type of draw that you are already winning 2-0, then you come in the second half and your players are just performing rubbish, trash, just doing whatsoever they want to do, and Pep is there screaming and all that. Player don't just want to. I feel like they want to play for themselves. This is not the risk. This is not the time to play for yourself. You need to be able to give out the ball and all that. And a lot of Manchester City players are just young, excited to be playing at that top level, and just doing a lot of things which I feel like they are very very unnecessary to be done on the pitch at that particular point, because there is no reason you can tell me they lost a game that they were up 2-0. And I guess this is me. I can't just buy it. Maybe somebody else you can say the game was tough. The game wasn't tough, because if the game was tough, it should have been like the game was 0-0 in the first half. Then you guys came score one, they scored one, they scored two, and they scored two, which it will be very comprehensive and it will be very acceptable to a lot of people. But you can't tell me the game which you guys are comfortably winning 2-0 up, then you come in the second half and just concede two goals and playing trash and playing rubbish. It was a disgusting game. I can't even go back and watch a replay and all that. And I feel so bad, as I just feel like I'm a City fan right now, a huge City fan, because the game, it hurts me, right? Because I made a video on this channel, I posted, which I was giving all the accolade to Manchester City, and I had all the hopes that they were going to win this game. Then they went into a game which they were already up 2-0 and came back in the second half. They were not able to just defend the goals, and they drew the game, which was, and at this stage of the competition, with you guys are just like 4 points behind somebody that is about to win the league and all that. So this game was so, I don't know, they just need to, soccer is not easy at all. It's tough to be on the pitch. I myself, it's something that I do I will not say all the time, but it's something which if I had an opportunity, I would have been so far by now. But I mean, God knows, God time is the best and all that. Once again, thank you all for watching my videos. Just subscribe if you don't know what I'm talking about, or you just got lost in like me saying something. Watch my previous video. I had a video prior to this video which I was explaining basically everything, and which I did before City was supposed to play and all that. Thank you for watching my videos. Keep up, and I'm gonna keep up with giving you guys content. Thank you.